So the BIT School of Management has opened up its application process for its 2023 intake. This will be their third cohort. The two cohorts are already on campus, and today and in the past couple of days, I've been on campus interacting with the students, knowing about how it is like being in the students' shoes. I attended a couple of faculty sessions as well, and in this video, I'll be talking about the admissions process, which obviously is dear to me. And the idea of this video will be to cover the essay analysis and discuss pointers in terms of what you should keep in mind when you're approaching the application process. So, by and large, the theme of profile-based evaluation has been continued this year as well. They are looking at essays which are trying to know you better as an individual, and there's not a lot of focus on the goals themselves. The idea here is that once you get in, their structure itself, they feel, is so robust, you will be able to figure out what you want to do and the goals in terms of what you should be achieving based on your profile and your strengths and weaknesses. Yes, you should cover some part of it in your goals, but it will be largely an interview based discussion that might not happen at all. Right. So there are three essays that are there. The first essay is talking about tell us a bit about yourself, your beliefs, values, which may be academics or professional, or any leadership experience that you might have had, and more importantly, how this will enrich the cohort's experience. So this is a 500-word essay, and it is basically focusing on three things. One, trying to understand what makes you unique through examples, of course. How will you add value to the school? And the third thing is, which is something that you should mention, although not asked, is about the goals in terms of given your beliefs, given your values, given your experiences, what next is something that you're looking at. All right. And the important way to look at this essay is have a couple of examples in terms of who you are as a person and what you absolutely believe in. Now, those beliefs or values can be traits like taking initiative, resilience, etc., or they can be things around like empathy, collaboration, etc., etc. And then whatever leadership experience you've had based on those traits and values, and these leadership does not mean that you handle a team. The idea is to demonstrate those values themselves, which are in input to leadership eventually. So you're not a leader anymore, but you have a lot of potential to become one. And the more important part here is the entire cohort experience, which I felt also being on campus that the cohort is looking at. Every time there is an initiative, it is not for the individual, it's for the collective group as well. Hence, it's important to research well about the school. Now that there are two batches already on campus, you can discuss with them in terms of what their life is like and how their motivations are, what are the clubs that are there, what are the initiatives that are taken, and you can cover those to demonstrate your research. Or you understand those, there will be much more that you can do because it's still a new school. So you can have radical ideas about forming a club which is not there anymore, or there is a new initiative that you would want to take. The important thing is to be specific. The important thing is to show your research about the school. That's what the school would like you to do. The second essay is about what you believe is your most significant accomplishment or failure to date, and why you view it as such, and what have you learned from it. Again, it's a typical situational question. The important part here is about the why, in terms of why do you feel what you feel, in terms of the situation, whether it's an accomplishment or a failure. In both these cases in life as well, right? Whatever you achieve, you learn something at the end of the day, and same happens with the failure. So the important part is that you cover either one of those and have a reason for that as well. And why you're covering for this accomplishment or why you're covering for this failure. And at the same time, it can be a personal or a professional achievement, totally up to you. It should be about how it influenced you as a person, how your values were shaped up that we have covered in the previous essay, so there has to be some link there, and in terms of what you learned from that, from the entire experience. So the way you talk about the situation should be, or the example should be, have that star format, and then finally, what you learned out of that. And right at the start of the essay, just talk about why are you even discussing this? Why is this accomplishment or a failure worth discussion in this forum? Okay. And that's how you should frame the second essay. And again, remember always that have that interview lens in mind, because this will be discussed in the interview. And interviews, as I said, they are profile based. So it's important for you to always have that bent of mind, always have that eye on the interview when it comes to BITSoM, or for that matter, any other B school in the country or across the globe. Okay. The third is an interesting optional essay where they're asking if there is anything else that you want us to know about you. Tell us here. Till this part, it is absolutely like any other optional essay that you would see in any other B school, where you typically would talk about things around it was an academic gap, or there was a gap in your CV, or there was a score which you didn't achieve, or anything else. The second line makes it a lot more interesting, which is you could use the opportunity to tell us about your favorite book, movie, art, sports moment, whatever it is, and why it resonates with you. So, looking at this line, I don't think the school is also expecting this to be an optional essay, although they've called it out so. But it will be interesting to see what you make out of it. And what I would suggest is definitely write this essay, because they are trying to know you a lot better throughout this experience of this essay. Now, it can be about anything that you do when it in terms of, you like a book or a movie, and what has the impact of that form of art been on you and your career in general. So it's important to establish that. And then you could have an interesting movie choice. You could choose a Titanic. You could choose Gunda for the engineers out there. You could choose Shawshank Redemption for that matter. The idea is whatever you mention has to resonate with you and gives them a perspective about who you are as a person, right? And for sure, this thing will be covered in the interview, because this is something which is outside of the entire academic arena and the accomplishments that you've talked about. So if you choose to use this space to talk about your favorite XYZ things, definitely do more research around it. Do not just mention it for the heck of it just because it will look cool. Make sure you mention it in terms of whatever actually resonates with you. And it's important to, again, link it back to the other two essays, because that would have also formed some value, some experience, or some manifestation of who you are as a person, right? So these essays overall are well drafted, and one clear thing is they're not looking at goals directly. Hence, it's not, do not sell your vision about BITSoM in terms of what you intend to do there and why BITSoM is the right fit for you, etc., across the essays, but just touch upon the goals, because it will still be part of the interview process, and it gives a perspective about who you are and what your motivations are and how big in terms of you want to aim while joining the BITSoM School of Management, BIT School of Management, right? Overall, pretty interesting process, and essentially they will read all your essays for sure. So it should be a fun conversation using those. Needless to say, whatever you write, no two layers deeper than that, so that it covers well in the interview. Other than that, enjoy the process, have fun with it.